All right, guys, let's vlog right here in the living room. I'm going to shoot a portrait video on the OnePlus 13, the iPhone 16 Pro, or Pro Max, whichever we're saying, and the Pixel 9 Pro XL. And I'm also going to do the Galaxy S25 Ultra that I'm starting the video off with it right now. So I would use the S25 Plus, but it's the same. It's no different. So I wanted to vlog and I want to put all these phones to the test. Now, here are the other phones. Here's the Pixel, the iPhone, and the OnePlus. And like I said, the Ultra is what I'm starting off this video with because the Ultra is the latest of all these devices. And I like portrait video. I think it's just the best way to vlog. Now, I was watching Grant Likes Tech. I was watching his live stream last night, and he said, Jay, I don't really use a lot of artificial lighting. And I said, man, you're right. So I decided to just come in the living room area, and there's 3 windows here. They're not all the way open. It will be a little too bright, but it's also not very sunny out. So I want to see, because I always talk about how great the OnePlus 13's cameras are for portrait video. And I want to see just how well the Galaxy S25 Ultra, coming in at a much higher price, can do against the iPhone and the OnePlus and even the Pixel. While I have some reserves about how I feel about the Pixel, it does do portrait video, just not on the front camera, and all the other ones do. So we're going to still do it. We're going to give the Pixel kind of an advantage by using the rear camera for the portrait video. But, I think this front camera's portrait video on the S25 Ultra should come out pretty good. The lighting is right. Everything looks to be in place. And I don't think it's going to be a bad run for any of the phones. But again, the Pixel does have the disadvantage because it can't do portrait on the front camera. But let's go ahead and go to the iPhone 16. Let's go ahead and go to the OnePlus 13's portrait video right now. All right, so here's the OnePlus 13's front camera shooting in portrait video. I look at it and I think it has the best. I think I might like the OnePlus 13's front portrait style video better because I like how they control how the aperture is controlled. So I know it's the same on the Samsung and some of the other devices, but it's just different. Samsung has like heaviness in portrait, but anyway, already you can see, you probably is going to see more of me in the video because the cameras on Samsungs are zoomed in by default, and you can't move them in or out once you set it to the portrait video. It just doesn't zoom in and out like that, or the default setting, I should say, is a little bit more zoomed in, which isn't a bad thing. But this is the OnePlus 13's portrait video on the front camera, and I'm curious to see how this is going to come across after the fact, because once you get things in post and you start to upload them to your computer or whatever, and you start to look at them, and it just doesn't look the same a lot of times. And so sometimes you might have to do some editing in post, but with these with these videos, if I upload it directly to YouTube, then yeah, it won't get downgraded too much. But sometimes I found that when I put things on the Mac and afterwards and I'm in post, it just looks completely different. It needs to have some color to it, or it needs to be color graded. And sometimes I'll do it, but most times I won't, because I want to show you how it's coming out of the device. But sometimes you need to do that because it's not an accurate representation of what the phone is actually producing. Like, you put some HDR content on your computer and you start to produce it out, and it might look completely different. But nonetheless, here's the OnePlus 13's front camera portrait video. Now let's go ahead and switch to the iPhone 16 Pro. We'll do the Pixel last because it's rear camera only. Now, here's the legendary iPhone's front camera portrait video. A lot of people feel like Apple is the standard for video. But I say, of all the years I've been using phones and coming up to this point when it comes to video, several phones have passed the iPhone, and they've also leveled up with the iPhone. So that's a huge compliment that the iPhone has gotten over the years with video. I think it's important. Apple touts, they always try to, when they're announcing their phones, they talk about you can shoot a movie with your phone. Well, pretty much at this point, I think you can shoot a movie with probably any smartphone. Probably so. But I've always went on record and said, hey, HDR content on the iPhone is the best. But after I got the OnePlus, and I've never really liked Samsung's HDR content. Well, as a side note, Samsung phones can now do HDR content in portrait video as well. They didn't really announce this, but it is there now. You can do portrait video in HDR now, and I've done it, and it looks pretty cool. In fact, this video will probably be HDR portrait video for Samsung because all the other phones can do it as well. So I think it's cool that I can compare these very high-end phones. And if you're gonna vlog, man, I think this is a good way to vlog. Like, who wouldn't want to vlog with a slightly blurry background and you extremely sharp and crystal clear in focus and all the rest? So this is the iPhone 13 Pro Max is like, that's king iPhone for me. But nonetheless, this is the iPhone 16 Pro's front camera, portrait video, shooting here in the same spot. And let's switch over to the last one. It's the Pixel 9 Pro XL, which again, doesn't have portrait video on the front camera, only on the rear. And sometimes it can be really good. So I'm gonna go ahead and take this off. Let's put the Pixel on, and then we'll finish out the video. All right, now here is the Pixel. This is the rear camera, remember, because it doesn't have portrait video on the front camera. So this is the rear camera on the Pixel. And you know, I got a feeling the Pixel is gonna do very well because it's actually using its primary camera. But when you think about it, also you need to compare this. This is the Pixel's primary camera, like the rear cameras, which is the best foot forward, compared to the front cameras on the other devices. So just kind of bear that in mind. And this video really is about the Galaxy S25 Ultra's cameras and how it compares in portrait video to the others. Because remember, I used to use the previous generation Samsung phones with portrait video. Hands down, bar none, it was the best. I liked it over all the rest. But now times have changed, and every other phone can do portrait video, and you know it's getting really good. Again, case in point, the OnePlus to me has some of the best shoot and upload portrait video in the game, and so does the iPhone. The iPhone really wins outside. The iPhone is such a strong camera outside, it's incredible. And all phones are strong outside, but a lot of the content that you see online, you see like, like Instagram, you see a lot of that HDR content, almost all of it is coming from the iPhones because they're optimized for it. OEMs have just set the iPhone as the standard for social media. And you've probably heard me say that most of social media looks better on the iPhone and works better. But let's close out this video and we'll talk about it some more. All right, we're closing out with the Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra's front camera once again in portrait video. How did this phone compare next to the other one? It's exclusively Google's Pixel because it's using the rear camera and it had the advantage, but I'm sticking with the front cameras on these things because this is this test right here. I'll do the rear cameras in another video, but overall, I think the Samsung Ultra's 25 Ultra's front cameras are pretty good. And portrait video. Remember the video I did with my S24 FE? That camera outside blew me away because it was so good. And I anticipate this particular phone being phenomenal outside as well. Again, unfortunately, the Pixel can't do front camera footage with portrait video, but it is what it is. You know, that's just how it goes sometimes. Why they claim that their video cameras were so great, and then they ended up not giving it all the function out. Dog just bumped the cam, bumpy cam from the dog. But why they would do that is beyond me. So take a look at this footage. Tell me what you think. No microphones, no artificial lighting, just me sitting in my living room on the ottoman, just kind of chatting with you, showing you all of the different footage from each phone and how it looks. It might be a little grainy, I don't know, but through the viewfinder, it looks phenomenal. Most of the time when I shoot portrait video, it comes out really good, especially when I do a direct upload, but I gotta offload these to the Mac and put it together into a video. And so I'm hoping that it doesn't get downgraded too much from Apple to YouTube and the upload and download from it. So it's your man Jay, hope you guys enjoyed. Front camera as the wind chimes go off out there, the door's open, the dog just ran in. But I hope you guys enjoy the footage, and you tell me what you think about the front cameras of these four phones sitting here in a nice calm setting, vlogging. All right, guys, welcome to part 2 of this video. You see me rocking my AMG gear because the AMG is right there. So I had to pull it out for a little bit and go for a ride. But nonetheless, this is the front camera and portrait video outside. And so this is the OnePlus 13, obviously. Now the OnePlus 13, obviously, I always say that it's my favorite, but how is it standing up against the Galaxy S24 Ultra? I did forget the Pixel, so in this portion of the video, the Pixel is not here. I'm pretty sure the Pixel would have done well, but I didn't bring the Pixel, unfortunately. I had a call coming in. I didn't bring the Pixel, but I'll try to get the Pixel out again and shoot some content. So here is the front camera on the OnePlus 13. And since we're out here, I'll go ahead and do some rear camera footage too. All right, now here's the Galaxy S25 Ultra. You can see the Galaxy S25 Ultra doesn't have the same wide angle on the front camera. So it comes across as everything's zoomed in or I'm standing closer. But the reality is I'm not. I'm standing in the same spot. And it just goes to show how well how far the distance you can get from the other phone. So we noticed this in the other footage too. But this is what you get. It's really windy out, so I'm really curious to see how these phones will pick up on the audio. But I'm going to switch to the iPhone because I did remember to bring these three. Unfortunately, like I said, I forgot the Pixel, but I was trying to rush before it got real dark outside. But let's go ahead and I'll do rear footage with all of these. But for now, let's switch over to the other phone. All right, now here's the iPhone. As you can see, the iPhone also has a very good wide lens on the front, and it's not as zoomed in. And you can see how it's handling me and the car and just me standing here talking. So I'm talking at the same tone. So this gives you some sense of how well the microphones will work. And I'm going to switch angles. I'm staying right here for this first part of this outdoor video because I want you to see exactly, how each phone does on the front camera, and I want you to see the audio. And I'm going to switch and shoot the side of the car here in just a second, and with rear camera footage from the phones. So stay locked, and let's go back to the other phones. Rear camera footage time. All right, now here's the OnePlus. And these are all portrait videos. They're portrait videos. So I could do regular 4K, but I'm focusing on portrait video for these. And it looks like the iPhone has the widest field of view. The iPhone has the widest field of view because I'm not moving any differently from the position where I'm walking to and from. You might have heard a difference in audio with the OnePlus just now because I didn't have the enhanced voice on, but if a feature is available on the phone for recording, I'm going to use it, and hopefully it's helping with this windy day that I'm having out here. All right, this is the Galaxy S25 Ultra. How's it doing? Trying to pan and move in the same direction that I have been when I did the other phones, but I won't get it perfect, but you get the idea. How is the Galaxy S25 Ultra compared to the other phones? All right, this is the iPhone rear camera footage on the different angle here. Ooh, boy, I know you see it. I know you see it. And I'm gonna do the same position with the other phones. You see it. All right, guys, so, there you have it. You can see this is how it's going to hold up. Again, it's a windy day out, but it's beautiful out here. It's like 80 degrees or something like that, 80 plus degrees. But it's a cool breeze. So we're supposed to be getting hit with another cold front, I think. But how's the audio on the phone? How's the quality doing? How is it doing against its competitors? Because this is the newest device that I brought out, that I've purchased, both the Samsung Galaxy S25 lineup. And I think the Ultra is man, I don't know. It's a good phone. I'm not as blown away because the other phones were just as good. The S24 lineup is amazing. So I wasn't expecting to be blown away, but you might see some refinements and some improvements with the phone. So you let me know, and I think we're done.